And which one of you was a marksman at 10?
Father.
You can't kill it, you know.
Why not?
Because the raven is you.
There are so many interesting characters within the story of Ragnarok and throughout Norse mythology. In fact, there's so many interesting characters that you could find a parallel for each and every one of them within the Song of Ice and Fire. In a previous video focusing on Norse mythology, I discussed the parallels between Jaime Lannister and the lawful god of war Tyr. But in this video, we'll be focusing on Bran Stark and Odin. Also, don't forget to enter the giveaway for the Iron Coin of the Faceless Men from Shire Postmint for the month of March. There is 10 different ways to enter, and you can find the link to the giveaway in the description of this video. I was reading Mythology by Edith Hamilton and found some strong parallels between Bran and the Norse god Odin. In chapter 23, The Norse Gods, there is a passage describing Odin that really resonated with me. He is a strange and solemn figure, even when he sits at the feasts of the gods in his golden palace Gladsheim, or with the heroes in Valhalla, he eats nothing. The food set before him he gives to the 2 wolves who crouch at his feet. On his shoulders perch 2 ravens who fly each day throughout the world and bring him back news of all that men do. One is named Hugin, and the other is named Munin. Hugin represents thought and Munin represents memory. While the gods feasted, Odin pondered on what thought and memory had taught him. The first sentence in this passage we can compare to Bran, especially how we know him in the TV series. Ever since Bran's escape from the Three-Eyed Raven's cave, Bran has become a different person. He is now aloof to his family and friends, which is a complete shift from how he was before making it to the cave. An example of this would be Bran's interaction with Mira in Season 7, Episode 4, where she is confused by his attitude and she says, "You died in that cave." He also shows little to no emotion when he reunites with his sisters at Winterfell, something that Sansa almost warns Arya about in the crypts before meeting up with him. Sansa says Bran is home too, but it's with a very foreboding tone in her voice. I believe that these trivial human emotions are now a thing of the past for Bran, because now the responsibility of postponing the end of the world sits directly on his shoulders. And this is also a characteristic of Odin, having had the responsibility more so than all of the other gods of postponing Ragnarok. Odin is linked to both wolves and ravens, and Odin is accompanied by 2 wolves, Gary and Freki, both meaning either the ravenous one or the greedy one. At first, I just thought of it as, well, Bran is a Stark and the direwolf is a sigil of their house, so this is an easy comparison to make. But now, I think there might be more to it. In my own personal theory, I think that Nymeria and Ghost both represent Gary and Freki. The absence of both the wolves gets me thinking about what they are really up to. And if we look at the coloring of Ghost, his white coat and his red eyes, it's very similar to the colors of the weirwood tree. And as we know, animism is such a huge part of this mythology, the idea that nature and beings inhabiting it have a higher sense of knowledge that may even transcend what humans know or neglect to know. This is reflected with the children of the forest. As for the ravens, this is the most obvious link to Odin. Memory, or Munin, represents how Bran can tap into the past, present, and future by accessing the memories of the weirwood net or the collective unconscious shared in their world. Thought, or Hugin, to me represents the other way Bran uses the ravens, by flying around the world like Westerosi drones, spying on what's happening throughout Westeros. Another interesting tidbit I found throughout my research is that Odin is also linked to trees, and specifically Yggdrasil, the ash tree that connects all the 9 realms in Norse mythology. The poetic Edda poem Havamal describes how Odin sacrificed himself by hanging from a tree, making this tree Odin's gallows, one of the translations for Yggdrasil. In Hamilton's mythology, there is also a figure named Mimir, who is the keeper of the Well of Wisdom at the base of the Yggdrasil tree. It is Mimir who tells Odin that he has to sacrifice one of his eyes if he wishes to drink from the Well of Wisdom and obtain all knowledge. I believe that this is also a great parallel between Bran and Odin. I see a comparison between Yggdrasil and the Great Weirwood atop the Three-Eyed Raven's cave, both being trees of great significance. And I liken Mimir to Bloodraven, who is the keeper of the Weirwoods and the knowledge that Bran is about to receive from him during his training. to take up the mantle of the three-eyed raven. The greatest comparison I can think of between Bran and Odin is sacrifice. Just as Odin had to sacrifice himself to gain greater knowledge and then pass it on to men, Bran needed to sacrifice both his body, the use of his legs, and his mind, his former self, in order to save the world. But will Bran save the world, or will he help bring its destruction, the Ragnarok of Westeros? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section, and if you do want to see more of these kinds of videos or chat about your favorite theories, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire videos. Also, a big thank you to those of you who support the channel through Patreon. We have 110 Patreons strong in the Hype and Love family, and if you do want to help and support the channel by becoming a Patreon, click the link in the description of this video. It's super easy to sign up, and your support goes towards helping me attend awesome events like Con of Thrones 2018. Plus, you get bonus content every single day. Also, a big thank you to all of you who have donated to the GoFundMe for Con of Thrones 2018. Going to an event like this is extremely expensive for someone like myself, so if you do decide to donate and help me get to Con of Thrones 2018, it will give me the perfect opportunity to do live video logging, interviewing actors, getting collaborations with other great content creators, and get exclusive behind-the-scenes footage of my week in Texas. You can find the link to donate and help out in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hype and Love.